This is a special report from ABC News.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Brown in New York. We want to interrupt your viewing just briefly because President Clinton is about to name a new national security team, foreign policy team, for his second term. The announcement will come momentarily from the Oval Office. We expect the president to make some history in this announcement. We expect that he will name Madeline Albright, the current American ambassador to the United Nations, to the post of Secretary of State. And when he does so, and when she's confirmed, and we would expect both things to happen, she would become the first woman in American history to have that senior cabinet post as Secretary of State. We also expect the president will name Republican Senator William Cohn to be his Secretary of Defense, replacing William Perry, who's resigning. The president, in the days after the election, said that he hoped that he would be able to name a Republican to the cabinet, and the president, we expect, will make good on that today. Senator Cohn is retiring after 3 terms in the Senate. He's known, I guess, to most Americans for his role on the Iran-Contra Committee as a senator, and then for those of us a little bit older, we remember him as well as a member of the House, a rather young man at the time during the Watergate impeachment hearings, one of the first Republicans, in fact, to vote against President Nixon back in 1973. William Cohn will become, we expect, the Secretary of Defense. The president is about to begin speaking from the Oval Office.
Good afternoon. During our first term in office, the Vice President and I were blessed to work with a remarkable national security team. Secretary of State Warren Christopher, Secretary of Defense Bill Perry, National Security Advisor Anthony Lake, UN Ambassador Madeline Albright, Director of Central Intelligence John Deutsch. All very bright, forceful, strong-minded individuals who came together as a team to advance America's interests and values around the world. Today, the fact that our nation is at peace, our economy is strong, and we are making real progress in seizing the opportunities, meeting the challenges of the 21st century. These things are due in no small measure to the teamwork, vision, and leadership they gave to the American people. The Vice President and I and every other American owe all of them a great debt of gratitude. Now, as we embark upon a new term, our responsibility is to build on the strong foundation laid in the last 4 years, to make sure that as we enter the 21st century, America remains the indispensable nation, the world's greatest force for peace and prosperity, for freedom and security. Today, I am pleased to announce the new national security team I have selected to help us meet that responsibility. Secretary of State Designate Madeline Albright, Secretary of Defense Designate William Cohen, Director of Central Intelligence Designate Anthony Lake, National Security Advisor Samuel Berger. Each of these individuals has remarkable qualities of intellect, energy, and leadership. All are committed to work together as a team that will rise above partisanship and rise to the challenges of meeting the opportunities, of dealing with the challenges that we all face. The challenges are many: terrorism, the spread of weapons of mass destruction, drug trafficking, environmental degradation, ethnic, religious, and racial conflicts, dealing with the sea changes occurring in Asia and elsewhere throughout the globe. But the opportunities are even greater, working toward a Europe that for the first time is undivided, democratic, and at peace, building a new partnership with a democratic Russia, meeting the challenge of change in Asia with strength and steadiness in a way that advances freedom and prosperity, extending the reach of peace and freedom in the Middle East and Africa, opening more markets in Latin America, and strengthening the democracy that has taken root there. These new people who will form the new national security team, they have the experience, the judgment, the vision to meet the heavy responsibility and the high privilege of leadership. By virtue of her life and accomplishments, Madeline Albright embodies the best of America. It says something about our country and about our new Secretary of State designate that a young girl raised in the shadow of Nazi aggression in Czechoslovakia can rise to the highest diplomatic office in America. She watched her world fall apart, and ever since she has dedicated her life to spreading to the rest of the world the freedom and tolerance her family found here in America. During her 4 years as our ambassador to the United Nations, Madeline Albright's steely determination has helped to advance our interests and our ideals around the world. She knows firsthand what it means for America to be the indispensable nation. And I know firsthand that Madeline Albright has the instincts, the intelligence, the skill, and the strength to lead American foreign policy in this time. Time and again, I have benefited from her judgment and counsel on issues from Bosnia to NATO and many, many other difficult areas. The American people have also benefited because of her special ability, forged during her tenure as a teacher at Georgetown, to explain why American leadership is more important than ever and to get the job done. Bill Perry has done a remarkable job in preparing America's military for the challenges of the 21st century and in carrying out all other aspects of the Secretary of Defense's job, which include running the largest and most complex organization in the nation's government. The bottom-up review he completed has decreased the size of our forces while increasing their readiness, capabilities, and technological edge. From Haiti to Bosnia, from the Persian Gulf to the Taiwan Strait, through Bill Perry's leadership, we have demonstrated that our men and women in uniform remain the best equipped and best trained fighting force in the world. Earlier, I had the opportunity to pay tribute to the contributions of Secretary Christopher. I want to say again how much I appreciate what he has done. But today, I also want to thank Bill Perry for being one of the finest defense secretaries in the history of the United States. I thank you, Bill, and I will miss both of you very much. Bill Cohen is the right man to build on these achievements. To secure the bipartisan support America's armed forces must have and clearly deserve. He served in the United States Congress for 24 years, including 18 in the Senate. There his name became synonymous with discipline, intellect, creative independence, and deeply held principles. While serving the people of Maine, he has also served every American through his determination to find common ground on difficult issues. He brought fresh ideas and thoughtful analysis to his work on the Senate Armed Services Committee. He helped craft the START I arms control treaty with Russia that we have entered into force, and played a key role in legislation that reorganized and strengthened our military command. Now the Senate's loss will be our administration's gain. I thank Senator Cohen for his willingness to cross party lines to make sure that America's security is there in the 21st century. Just about every morning these last 4 years, the point man of our foreign policy team, Tony Lake, came into this office to brief me on the state of the world and to tell me what he thought I should do about it. It's been a great comfort to me and a great benefit to the American people to have Tony Lake just down the hall and to bring the power of his mind, the toughness of his character, the strength of his integrity to bear on the most difficult challenges we face. In moments of crisis and times of triumph, he has always been at my side. Let me thank John Deutsch for the remarkable job he has done on behalf of our country at home and abroad. First, as the Deputy Secretary of Defense, and then, in a difficult time, as Director of Central Intelligence. He has done an excellent job, and I thank him. Thank you, John, for your service. I can think of no more powerful proof of my commitment to carry on John Deutsch's work of maintaining a strong, successful intelligence community than asking Tony Lake to take the helm as Director of Central Intelligence and a member of my cabinet. Our intelligence informs just about every foreign policy decision we make. We cannot do without it. And while it will be hard for me to do without Tony Lake just down the hall, I'm grateful he will be working the halls at Langley and leading our intelligence community into the 21st century. Sandy Berger has also served just down the hall these past 4 years. He's been a good friend and advisor to me for a lot longer than that. In fact, we have known each other since we were about half our present age. I hate that. I have looked to him for advice and counsel on foreign policy and on many other issues as well over the years. As Deputy National Security Advisor, Sandy Berger has helped to pull together our foreign policy team and given it direction, guidance, and shared purpose. I believe we have to have these things to move forward on the interests and values of the American people. As National Security Advisor, he will bring to the job not just the ability to work hard and to work well, but the vision and sense of our larger purpose that is necessary to meet the challenges our nation faces. I am pleased and the American people are fortunate that Sandy Berger will be serving as my National Security Advisor. And before I ask each member of the new National Security team to say a few words, starting with the Secretary-designate, I'd like to thank the one member of the team that will not be changing for a while, as long as his tenure lasts, and that's General Shalikashvili. Thank you, sir, for your remarkable service to America. And now,
President Clinton announcing the new appointments to his national security team, first among them Madeline Albright, the UN ambassador today, but soon to become the Secretary of State, the first woman in American history to occupy that post. That will happen after she's confirmed. ABC News White House correspondent Britt Hume is outside the White House. Britt, going down the list, you see any confirmation problems for any in this group?
None of these nominees presents any obvious confirmation problems, Aaron. There may be some misgivings about Tony Lake, a knowledgeable man to be sure and a man widely liked, as to whether he has the force of personality to deal with the administrative task of running the CIA and also of defending it, as it, being a controversial agency, sometimes needs.
Britt, thanks. ABC's Britt Hume outside the White House. As the president indicated, this team, once it's in place, has no shortage of challenges or problems to deal with, from Bosnia to the Middle East to Asia and beyond. And we'll be taking a look at some of those problems later on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Until then, I'm Aaron Brown in New York. This has been an ABC News special report.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
This is ABC.